What's up, Alpha Strikers? We are here in the Cere-Bros show, number 11. We are talking what if, talking some Elseworlds, and all the things we love about Heroclix. I have basically all my Cere-Bros here tonight. Let's start off. We have George.
Hello, everybody.
We have Pedro.
Hey, guys.
Mike Nito.
What's happening, guys? Good to see y'all again.
And, of course, Brandon Beasy himself.
What's going on, Alpha Strikers?
The beard with the plan.
The beard is back.
So, guys, we have missed you. I hope you guys have missed us. We have been gone for weeks. People have life. It happens. But, hey, it's July 1st. We are here. New show. Let's start talking about our weeks in clicks. We don't have to talk about all 4 weeks, guys. Just pick your most memorable, most recent, whatever you just remember. Just pick a team, pick an event, talk about it. Who would like to go first tonight?
I can start.
All right, Pedro, what'd you play?
So I've been talking a lot to Jago, and we've been training a lot for the Rock. We're going to have the Brazilian ROC on August 5th and 6th. And we're trying to test, of course, the new rules are not out yet or official, but we're trying to brainstorm what's going on. And we're having some crazy realizations, like call-ins are not going to be as potent as they used to be. And turn order are going to affect the game a lot. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to go over anything we can discuss during the show, but these are the things that we are finding out. And it's going to be a very interesting game going forward. So only good stuff, but crazy new stuff.
All right. Who do we have next?
I can go. So
right.
My most recent match was going to be last Sunday. I played. We had a 400-point. This was a 400-point modern game, but we had a sideline of up to 100 points that we could have, and we would call them in once somebody got KO'd. No characters could be over 150 points. I ended up playing basically 3 different versions of Sorcerer Supreme, bringing in the title character, Doctor Strange. We had Dr. Stark, so you have the what if Tony Stark was Sorcerer Supreme pretty much, and Punisher of the Strange. And then I paired them up. I had 80 points left over. I figured, let's bring in a Daredevil.
Nice.
Just because he's such a cool... And it was an all-mystical team, a lot of mystical damage going around, popping in free ninjas. And on my sideline, I brought in Spider Carnage just because I just got him in, and I thought he would just be fun to play. And he is. He's a beast. I actually went 3-0, winning it, wiping out every team I played. And it was nasty. Probability control everywhere. A lot of damage everywhere. A lot of Mystics damage everywhere. It was a way nastier team than I thought when I built it.
Dang, 3-0. Great work,
Yeah.
man.
Not often. I'm usually like the 2-1 guy all the time. 2-1.
Hey, for me, 2-1, if it happens, I've had a good night. So.
It was fun.
Mike, George, myself, anyone?
I guess
No?
I'll go.
All right, George, what do you got?
Well, for this past Wednesday, it was like kind of National Paul Bunyan or day. So we had a giant-size figure that had like the giant-size symbol, and then we had to pick someone that had like the animal keyword. So I went a little old school from the Guardians of the Galaxy set that rotated out about 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Played Tyrant at 225 and did like the uncommon Sabertooth for 75 for a 300-point game. And I went 2-1, but I forgot how good that Tyrant was on his defense ability. On a roll, D6 roll, 1 through 3, basically invincible, so he ignores half the damage. And then if he rolls a 4 through 6, doesn't take any damage. And I was hitting those, 5s and 4 through 6s for a majority of the night. And when I did take the invincible, I was like, okay, take 2. Oh, okay, take 2. Oh, look, I'm on Regen. Hit it for 6, heal for 4.
Oh my God. Startle.
Yeah. Played him for 225, and You know, first game I kind of just one-shotted a crypto because he was hiding right behind blocking. He's like, "Oh look, I can see you." Penetrating damage. 12 attack against a I think 19 defense, even with a tiny size, and just hit it for 4 straight through.
Nice.
And then I just had the Sabretooth up there for just, clickbait, basically.
Nice. Pretty fun team. Cosmic being with a pet Sabretooth. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. I'll go next. So we had a ROC Win-Em-Up event about, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And 300-point Modern Limited event. So just figures, no resources, stuff like that. I played Goblin King at 175 with Cosmic Spider-Man on my team and 35-point Green Lantern. I also played the Symbiote, which went on Spider-Man, Cosmic Spider-Man, and the Weapon Drop that went on Goblin King. Holy crap. Goblin King being able to have the Weapon Drop and still pick 2 more powers that roll through turns is stupidly overpowered. My first game, I felt really bad. I think it's a newer player. He had like Iron Punisher, Iron Rick, and some of the stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm going to feel really bad after this game. He was doing pretty well, though. He almost killed my figures. Almost. But, sorry, new players have all the dice luck, man. They can hit those 12 like no one's business. Anyways, second round, I played a guy named Jeff. He's one of our local guys who comes to our big events. He's a super good player. Respect him a lot. And he had this really alpha strike team with Mercury, Green Goblin, Goblin King, and then the Rachel Cole Alves. He was trying to basically pair the 2 together to get the powers for her and him, but didn't realize he couldn't separate the 2, or else he'd lose the power. But he basically TK'd up Goblin, running shot pulse wave my Goblin, so got him in for 4. Then I went ahead and retaliated with all 3 of my figures on his Goblin King and 3-shot the Goblin King dead. Because I gave the light wall marker to get rid of his -1 defense, 10 side through whatever with Cosmic Damage for 4, picked something with Goblin, killed him for 3 more, and then Green Lantern, 35-point GL, 10-3, bam, finishes him off. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. So guys, Goblin King, not invincible. Of course, I was playing Goblin King, but hey, he's not invincible.
No, he's beatable.
Yep. And then last round, I played against another one of our best players at the venue, AJ, and he had a Goblin King team with Joker, and he was picking Goblin King to use Mastermind to the unkillable haha Joker. Like, hey, bravo, good move. The one turn he didn't pick Mastermind, I had Spider-Man shoot through walls, perfected the range to get him, hit him for 4. He puckered, shot my Green Lantern, killed him, and then ran off. So I couldn't catch him in time to win the game, so he beat me on points there. But I almost had him. So 2-1 that day. It was good. It's going to probably inspire my ROC States team we'll talk about later, but it's pretty fun. Mike.
So I also played in the Paul Bunyan Day. I played Armagon and Rocket Groot Convention exclusive. I just threw this team together. I was yeah, George, the one loss that he had with us against me, I went 3-0 that night. I put that team together just because I wanted to fill 300 points, and I wanted to play my Rocket Groot, and I wanted to play my Armagon. So I was like, sure, whatever happens. Wow. Ultra heavy with Armagon, 12 squares, free action, 7 damage. Call him Spider-Ham. Threw a Super Senses and a Shape Change, which he failed both, and then crit hit him for a total of 8 damage, and he's like, I'm not even going to click it. I'm done. It was out.
No point.
Oh.
I actually recalling, we spotted that it was at 9 minutes, Eric, is how long it took me to take out Spider-Ham and a full Phoenix Buster Iron Man from AVX. I was playing George, and he killed off my Rocket Pog from Rocket Groot, and so I had Groot with 11 attack and 4 damage with Close Combat Expert. Sidestepped up to him and just put it all into my attack, so I'm rocking a 13 attack on his 18 defense, 5 or better for 4. He rolled out with his Tyrant once, but after that it was just all downhill. But it was an intense match. I also played in the winner map. Apologies to George. I played the ADW Iron Man, the super rare, Cosmic Spider-Man at what was supposed to be his lowest click level. But when I played against George, I played him at the middle line instead of the low line. And then I played the old man Captain America from ADW. And that was a pretty solid team, especially when you're 100 points over against your opponent. They really don't stand a lot of a chance.
Performed really well, oddly enough.
But we redid that match.
All I could
George
do was just grin and bear
spanked me. He thoroughly spanked me in the second round, and then I played Dano, and that was hard fought. And then I played one of our returning players, Aaron. He played Spirit of Vengeance and Ghost Rider from ADW. Beautiful looking team. Those motorcycles on fire. I was just like, man, I could look at this all day, but when it came down to it, I just had to take it out, and it was just dice. And he managed to roll up on Cosmic Spider-Man and hit him, almost kill him. I got a full regen off of it, and then had Iron Man Hypersonic Super Strength pick up an Ultra Heavy and just clean smashed Spirit of Vengeance. After Old Man Cap outwitted Spirit of Vengeance defense, 7 damage just clean through, just splat. It was intense. But yeah, I'm really glad that Ultra Heavies are going away, because they need to take those away from me.
Yeah.
I ruin people's days with those.
I think most people do, Mike. Those things are brutal.
Yeah, they are.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing your tales. I'm sure all the people who are watching now and or later will enjoy those stories. So we're going to talk some Elseworlds wrap up. So we have all, hopefully, had a chance to open up some Elseworlds, play with some Elseworlds, what if stuff, play with some what if stuff.
Like Elseworlds. Where are you getting your Elseworlds from, Eric?
I know. Tell me.
I got an early break you guys don't know about. Okay, it's in the back
Black
room
market.
right now.
The plot thickens.
It was on a really good deal in that shady back corner alley, and the guy, literally, he wanted a cigarette and $40, and I walked away with it. So
that's the story, and he's sticking to it.
Anyways, back on track, guys. We're rambling. Okay, so we play with What If. We all like it, right? It's a pretty cool set.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yes.
At first, we have had some iffy thoughts, but then say, hey, you know what? This is fine. Love this stuff. So, I have asked all the bros here to pick 3 of their favorite figures from the set and talk about a little bit about them as to why they like them. And then if they wanted to, totally optional, if there's one figure they wish it had a little more potential, and what they would have done to change it. We'll go with that. So who wants to go first on this one?
I can go first.
Okay, Brandon, what you got? Share with us, please.
So I based mine off of just like the ones I chose. I based mine off of pieces I own so far. So I don't own the entire set yet.
And that's fine. That's great.
Which these are pieces I played and I kind of enjoy. My first one I put on was Iron Punisher. Man, that dude's got 12, 11, and 10 attack all the way down the dial. I mean, he's got flight. He's got pretty decent range. I mean, that 12 attack penetrating damage for 3 is wrecking in sealed tournaments like crazy. I've seen it won 2 sealed tournaments. Actually, no, I saw it won 3. I saw it won 2 sealed tournaments in the pre-release, and I saw it won a sealed tournament in the release. And it's just, and he's got great keywords too. He makes shield teams better. He's got reducers. He's got Indomitable in there. I think he's kind of costly, but overall he's a great piece.
For sure.
My second, I put Dr. Stark on there. I know he's kind of costly, but he's going to be hard to hit. He's got that traded energy shield deflection. He starts off with probability control right off the bat. But his automated counterspell is really, really good. Basically, opposing characters within 4 squares can't use Penetrating Psychic Blast, can't use Precision Strike, and they can't use Pulse Wave. So you just get him up in the fight. He's got phasing teleports, and people can't really lock him down, but you just get him up there in the fight. And then people can't use some of those favorite powers that you have, Penetrating Psychic Blast, Precision Strike, and Pulse Wave. I think he fits a lot of Mystics teams, or a lot of mystical teams. He's got Mystics, so he's going to be dealing Mystics damage. He's got Reducers. He's got to roll out if you do hit that 19 from range. I just think he's really, really strong. And he's been an MVP in a lot of my matches. And then my third one I picked was Nico Minoru. Solely because she's a young Avengers and she is fitting with, I say, Mike Nito's Loki that he sent to me, that we traded for. I love that Loki so much.
There you go.
Convention exclusive Agent Loki.
Yeah.
I always forget he's a young Avenger. That's crazy.
I mean, using her, she's got basically your definition of a pick a power. Obviously, you have to choose a different combat symbol each time and different power each time. But I use her primarily as a support piece. Mostly to TK people out there, get a probability control, or pick a perplex, or pick an outwit. And sometimes if people kind of leave themselves out there and underestimate her, I'll pick, hypersonic super strength and go out there and attack with her too. But yeah, overall, she's just for young Avengers in general, I like her. We're just talking about the first part, right? That's it?
Yeah.
Just the three right now?
We'll do the first three, and then we'll roll back and pick the one that you thought you could like better.
Yeah. And those are my
Next.
three I picked right there.
Any volunteers? No one?
Sure.
Crickets?
So
Bueller. I'll cheat. Can I cheat a little bit? Just a little bit. I'll cheat very quickly. Three most impressive figures for me, meta-wise, and I want to say a word about them. Just Goblin King, Cosmic Spider-Man, and Peace Machine. There are others, Peter Hunter, for instance, but these first three are just self-explanatory. Now, what I'm seeing, and I'm not going to talk about Elseworlds, despite the fact that Eric has a sneak preview he didn't share with anyone. That I saw three figures that I thought, and I've seen this in Elseworlds as well. They're just fun to play. I just want to play them. It doesn't matter if it's meta or not. And I'm seeing Wizkids do it. It's just different and it's so cool. And my first one is.
Wait! Elseworlds. Wait, Elseworlds, not quite yet.
No, I'm talking
later.
about what if.
Okay,
What if?
Okay, all right.
24, Carolina Dean.
Yeah.
Okay.
75 points. Running shot, penetrating. She's great to have someone beside her. She has enhancement. She has defend at 18 in the first click. Whoever's beside her on ranged attacks get -1 to damage. She gets pulse wave for 2 clicks in the end for 10 and 2 damage with sidestep, so she can rearrange a little bit. It's just fun. 75 points. There's so many useful things you can do it. I was seeing you guys talking about the set reviews. We're going to have to change the way we think about the game and find synergies and other opportunities in many different ways. And I think there's a piece there for an uncommon piece that you might take some surprises there. And if you plan to have a team that play to her strengths, you might have a good fun and some decent results there. That's my number one. Second one, and I hope Mike don't be angry with me, but Punisher of S.H.I.E.L.D. What an amazing piece. I'm gonna let Mike talk about it because I heard him once and he talks so much better, but it's fun, it's useful, it has synergy, it has purpose, teach you to play a better game. It urges you to raise the bar, to take more out of him, and if you do, you're not gonna regret it. It's so amazing. And my last one, out of the pure power and roughness of it, is the Venom Hook. 190 points of pure fun. It doesn't matter. You can side blast
beautiful.
him. You can side blast him down to his last clicks and then outwit his invincible. I don't care. It's gonna be super strength all the way. It's gonna be Quake with his printed value. It's gonna be poison for value 4. It's everything you wanted to do. Gonna just 12 leap climb to their faces, stick there with plasticity, and say, one of us is gonna die badly. And we're gonna find out soon enough who it is. Just fun. Those were mine.
All right, thank you, Pedro. All right, who's next? Anyone? Okay, I'll go. All right, So mine were kind of hard to pick, but after I thought about it for a second, I'm like, okay, this is pretty easy. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1 for mine. So my third pick, and only because I won the release day event with this figure, the Common Thor. Oh my gosh. That founding member trait is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to move around, reposition, clear tokens, attack you, reposition, clear tokens, reposition, attack you. Oh my gosh, an 11 attack, 4 damage with 3 bolts with energy explosion traded? And then his damage can't be reduced when he gets deeper into his dial? Holy crap!
It's by his click number or something like that?
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Click for life for 110 points. Like,
Yeah.
He's a taxi. He's just a beast. I was so impressed with this figure. I was like, this can't be a common. This makes no sense. There's too many powers on this thing. So I don't know.
Wait till energy explosion gets better.
Oh, dude. Even as it is both ways, he'll be just fine. On click 2, he does guaranteed damage. It is ridiculous.
Exactly. By click 2, his energy explosion is penetrating.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, simply put.
Even through Invincible. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, number 3 pick right there. All right, number 2. This one's a little bit harder for me to pick than who my number 1 is. But number 2, I mean, I had to give it to Cosmic Spider-Man. Just because, like, I've always wanted that figure. When I first started playing, and Kevin, who taught me how to play, told me there was one, I was like, oh, he must be so great, like, have, like, impervious and, like, a super resistance on top of that. I was like, no, dude, don't fun. So he shoots through everything. What? Yeah, his line of fire is never blocked. So what people would do when he came out, they would hide in a piece of blocking tree. He'd shoot out, jump in there, and just hide. And then he could just shoot like a turret out of the freaking blocking, and no one could ever shoot him back because he wouldn't destroy it when he shot. I was like, you're kidding. Nah. That's why he's 319 points. You never feel him on a 300 point team. So I'm like,
He's still like a $40 figure too.
Yeah. He was easily $60 for like ever. It's like, I'll never be able to buy that figure. So when I saw one was in this set, I about crapped my pants. I was like, yes, I finally get to own a Cosmic Spider-Man. So that's not number 2. And then, number 1, I am going to have to give it to... I'm going to go with Poison. Just because, like, I'm a huge Peter Parker fan. Spider-Man's my man. But the what-if story with, him basically accepting the symbiote 100% and just bonding with it that way is, like, that's interesting. I wish I could read that storyline. I want to find it now and read it. I just picked up the first volume of Venomized in the comics. I'm excited to read it. I haven't quite yet, so hopefully we'll see what happens there. I do hear that Groot and Rocket became Venomized. That could be pretty cool to see as well.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hear some
Those are my
coming up.
Yeah, I've seen Poison possessed with Proteus, and it is nasty.
Oh, that can get into a Gwyneth's click. Oh, that's cool.
Gwyneth is the beast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
All right, who's next?
I'm going to defer to George.
He wants to go last, George. His must be the best ever. So,
Okay.
up to you, buddy.
Well, I could have to agree with Eric on one of those that founding members Thor is, ridiculous. Like you said, just move, no action token. So you pair that with the chase from the Avengers Defenders, Samantha Wilson.
Oh.
Chase.
Oh, you give him a +3 speed.
Although like,
what?
Yeah, and then have her pick up an object. Just
no!
There goes half my board.
Oh,
no action token for the taxi. Just thank you for the ride. Bye, Thor.
That's awesome.
I don't have that figure, so it didn't even come to my head. Dang it.
But that's at least my number 1. My second favorite is probably Peter the Hunter.
Yeah.
I had expected almost Eric to bring this one up, the Peter the Hunter one, but I like that one. 90 points for 5 figures, 4 of them hogs. Why not?
It's
Good
so
pods,
good.
too.
They're so
Good pods.
good. You
Yeah,
have
two of them are
master
so
Good
blades.
pods.
good.
I've got
Good.
one that's got flurry and blades.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Outwit.
charge. Got one that's got range. I can sit in stealth with ranged
RCE,
combat
yeah.
experts. And then if you're fortunate enough, like me, in one of my games playing Peter the Hunter, killing a figure. Oh, click one.
Yeah.
Token. Let's start again.
I will tell you right now, George, sorry to interrupt you. If I had one wish ever, it would be to have the super rare Spider-Man, okay, who's dying, flip into Peter the Hunter from my sideline, because it can do that, kill something with it, and go up to click one on that figure. That was my biggest wish right there. I will be so happy.
Nice.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or you know, back from the spirits, being able to pull that in for the revert.
Ah, yeah.
Kind of grody.
George, I think we're losing you.
Other favorite.
Edge of my seat here.
That's a tough one. I don't have a. I played the Venom tonight.
God bless the internet.
I'm about to ask if someone made a calling turtle on his side.
He's getting
Started slowing down.
Oh
slowing
no,
down.
I called him Turtle.
Uh-oh.
George.
He's getting Gladys.
Yeah. What is the new guy? Something I forgot. The Glacius guy from Elseworlds. We're not gonna talk Elseworlds, but a beast. 70 points, wrecking the. They ban Denny Street and then they bring this guy.
Oh right, seriously, the guy who makes you walk certain ways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, we can't have it on a map, guys. It has to be on a figure.
Exactly. It has to be in a figure. and then it also give action tokens to people. So since let's go all the way.
As you can tell, guys at home watching, we're trying to fill in time while George kind of recalibrates his internet. So, yeah, hopefully he can
Well,
fix that.
I can pick up and he can cover his third figure when he gets back.
All right.
Hopefully I don't steal it from him.
And we just lost him.
He dropped out.
So I will try and invite
hopefully,
him back while you chat.
Eric can get him back. In the meantime, my favorites, the first one that would receive the most considerable mention would be the Common Iron Man. Not only because he has the founder's trait, but he has that really different version of pick a power where you just get to pick a different effect to include with your attack. I found that to be highly utilitarian, and for 100 points, he was worth every penny. I really feel like he should have had a higher rarity just for what he can do. Next up, Molly Hayes. For 50 points, this figure is even more so when you go into new rules because you can pick up light objects. Now you've got close combat expert on your charge doing 4 knockback, and you don't even have to pick to put it in your damage because you've already got +1 for your light object. She is just by far and away amazing. And if they don't have an outwit, which outwit is getting more scarce these days, she's 2-tap. You have to hit her through her invincible, and at that point she's got sidestep, so she's going to get you one more time. And with the increased amount of elevation we have, you're going over the side, and that's the biggest advantage there. So, my last figure goes. I have to say this guy kind of came out of the woodwork for me. Punisher the Strange. At first I looked down, I was like, yeah, he looks cool. Nothing too special going on there. But then the implications of how he could stop the Goblin King and to stop other, zombie-type characters and characters that are monsters, the Bizarro chases, that just stop those. Venom, you've got Carnage. You stop them because you're on the board. Plus you have Mystics. So you're somewhat self-sacrificing, but you still have the run and gun with Pensai. And, there's just a lot going on there for him. And with the right support, at 100 points, he could easily primary attacker. So those are my top 3.
And with Mystics, not a bad idea to put any entity on him, right? Low point steal,
entities are gold mage, but if you put, for example, Eclipso on him, that's really advantageous.
Sorry,
just give him stealth or shape change, or what I think it's precision strike or impervious top dial, and the values are good. He gains a +1 in almost any category off of Eclipso. So
I think you put anything on a weapon drop will make him strong too. Just give him
the
balance powers.
The good old hookbuster Mike piece or torso piece. Always great with mystics.
The Mike Buster torso.
The Mike Buster torso, exactly.
Wow, we're keying at that now.
It's just,
I think you're making him blush. Look at that red face he's got.
Man, I'm not being a fanboy. I always heard. I started using it because I saw you guys and I saw Mike giving tips. But when he played the 37A Deadpool shifting focused with the X-Men, click here with that, and the Killing Joke Joker, I said, genius. It works so well, and it's man, awesome, really awesome, perfect combo and enhance. It's a pity that with the new outwit, it's good for the game as a whole, but it's a pity with the new outwit, it's gonna go away. But otherwise, it would be too overpowered. Having said that, we're gonna have a lot of figures that only take 1 damage, and like Old Lace, we can make mastermind the best thing in the world. Just keep her way back with a night nurse beside her, and just mastermind everything to the dino, and don't have a care in the world.
Boo. Hate that combo.
Yeah, not very friendly.
All right. So George sends his apologies, everyone. His phone internet is kind of throttling him right now. He's kind of getting high on his data plan because he has no Wi-Fi right now. So sends his regards. He'll try and be on next week. He'll try and come over to my place and hang out with me and talk some clicks. But for now, he says he will go into the comment section and comment things as we go on, and hopefully later as well. So we are done with all of our favorites. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Now, if there was a figure in the set that you had high hopes for and you played it or didn't think you could because of how it's designed, what would you have changed or hoped for it to be if you were to get that figure? Who wants to go with this one?
I can go. I'll go.
All right.
I don't know how I'd change him. That's the only problem. But Iron Rick.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, Rick Jones is a very important character, and Iron Rick should be so much stronger than he is.
Okay.
I just don't. I think his. I mean, for 55 points, I guess it's not bad, but I don't think his damage output is near what I would imagine Iron Rick to have. His Force Blast and his ability like to knock people back like extra and deal penetrating on that knockback is really cool. But I just think he could have been better. I mean, I think they could have maybe made him more costly and put some better power sets with him.
That's fair. All right. Who's next? Pedro?
I can go. I have one. Actually, I have 2 things I would like to see different. One in particular, the other one more generic. It's Scarlet Centurion. First, specifically, I would like to see that hat change into something that doesn't look like a wig, because it looks like a really buffed lady. So it's kind of an odd figure to look at. But I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it, and maybe you guys can help me. But he's almost there. You know what I mean? It's like there's everything that needs to be there is there, but it doesn't fit, and it's 140. I would rather pay 160 and have him do a little bit more, maybe more attack, move and attack, beginning, maybe a psychic blast, whatever. I think it's there. The incapacitate power is amazing with 2 lightning bolts because you counter all the powers. That's too strong. And you can abuse that a lot. The situational power against the Avenger is always great, but I'm not looking at that. To me, that's more flavor than necessarily strategy, because you cannot, even when a set is too strong, predict that that's going to be the people going to play against and with you. The powers are okay, but I know, you know what I mean? It's cool, but it's not something that it kind of make you look at it and then you say, maybe another day. So I would like that one to be a bit more in your face say, I have to try this, even if it doesn't work. But at least it doesn't feel like I have to try this, but just one day if nothing goes, maybe I'll try this.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's close. I wonder how they're going to errata him, especially with that because we're going to go into rules, like new rules soon, where possession of powers isn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how that's going to work with him.
Because, I mean, if he starts countering every single power they can use, that will be a little insane. But they might, like, reduce it to be whatever's in the dial window.
Yeah, that's going to be... Scrambler as well, right? I don't know if Scrambler is still modern, but that one is another one that can mess up aggressively if the errata misses it.
Or like Mr. Nobody. Love Mr. Nobody.
Especially against overdrives, right?
Oh God!
Sorry, buddy. It's if it's not a competitive game, you just put it a little further to give him a hard time. If it is, then you say you're sorry and say, well, sorry.
These are coming on my side of the map.
Exactly.
All right.
Come pick it up, buddy.
Since Magneto's been so diligent on being last, he wants to get all the last words into this evening. We're going to go and talk about mine. So for some reason, there's always this one figure I keep looking to, and I'm just like, why? This should have more. I didn't read the book, but I feel it should have more, and that's just the rare Iron Man. He's so blah, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I don't know what I expect from an Iron Man going back to the Middle Ages, but like even putting a shield, like a weird knight shield on his armor, like he somehow modded onto it or something like that, seems a little silly because he has a iron, whatever. But, and maybe a power that is like saying, let me see your blade and give him a quick look at Blade's Claw's fangs for a second. I would have been okay with that. Just something to say, I am an Iron Man in the Middle Ages, For me,
and they know how to do it, right? They know how to do it. It's not new stuff.
Yeah, right?
It's
Look
not
at that.
unprecedented, right? I mean, you know what to do it when you do it right.
And I was like, the common Iron Man is so great. Mike loves it. It's such a good figure. Like, how come the common gets the founding member trait, the pick-a-power thing, And I'm like, yet this guy, all he gets is ESD when he has one or less tokens. I just wanted
Eric,
more. And if I would have changed it, that's all I wanted.
Don't rip too hard on these awesome commons, because this is something that I think Heroclix have been saying. Heroclix players have been saying for a long time. We need more commons that can hold their weight against super rares.
Yeah.
We need commons that out of the pack they could be meta. That way, if I don't get the super awesome, super rare chase in the pack, I still have the potential of having common, uncommon, or rare that's going to carry me through the sealed game. So, we did see kind of a placement switch in the power level. And, I don't ever want it to seem like we're complaining about it. It's like, well, it's obvious.
No, that's awesome.
It's good to see that power levels being shifted around through the different rarities, because, I always feel like, the majority of commons we get are just garbage. It's like, this is the filler on my team because I have to, or they're good in their own league. If I did a sheer commons league, this one's going to be good. But, we really need some that can hold up. You got Cable, who's, meta worthy. You've got, Thor, the Iron Man, all these commons that have been coming out. They're just on a whole new power level.
Punisher, number 9. Bazooka Joe Punisher.
Yeah,
exactly.
And one thing I couldn't agree more, Mike. And if I just can add very quickly, what I think they should try to do, which would be so awesome, is I think that super rares or the rarity should be a measure of, and I hope this don't get misinterpreted, difficulty. What do I mean by that? Raw power, common and super rare should have kind of the same raw power, but for instance, super rare should be something that if you play not better, but if you play more complex, if you add other pieces to the team, if you have to create a situation, then you can get more out of your figure. So the super rare is not going to give, hey, it's extra power for you. No, this is extra options that if you play right, you can get more out of your figure. The trade-off is it forces you to place better, to provoke your opponent into doing something. I don't know, gives you more flexibility. So like in other games where you have, this is a higher difficult character. If you go face-to-face with a common guy, you're probably going to be beat up. But if you know how to take the most out of it, you probably get the upper hand. but difficulty should increase, power should be proportional to difficulty. So everybody start raw power where you go face to face, and then super rares get the extra one for the experienced player. And then, it's an incentive for the guys to train more, be better, and get there. And you don't feel outweighed because, well, from the beginning, all the numbers in my die were 1 or 2 numbers lower than everybody else. So
yeah, I'll say, like, since Deadpool, sealed has become more fun because there's no auto win. Like, and anybody has a chance. It's more of a skill factor in the game now, and putting together a team. You can put together a good team no matter what you get because we have quality commons and uncommons now. But yeah.
So just real quick to touch on the figure that I would have liked to have seen some improvements to. I'm going to go with the Advocate, the super rare Daredevil. Beautiful sculpt, beautiful concept. They give him this little, bounce power with Smoke Cloud and 60 points Mystics. But I can't figure out what really is good to do with him. I've looked at him, I've considered him, and then in the end, I'm just like, there's other things that I can get Smoke Cloud for better for free to build an easier, more attainable synergy. And I really, really would like to see be more of a. I mean, you could have tacked another 15 points onto him, made him a primary attacker, and have maybe a jump from the shadow sort of thing. But that was my beef there. It's just that it's beautiful sculpt, but I think he just really kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah.
Overall.
I honestly think if his Smoke Cloud was free, he'd be better, and that's it. Like, I think with that move, being able to like move in the shadows, move into another like hindering terrain, he'd be better. But I think the fact that you have to take a power action just to make 3 Smoke Clouds that are going to sit there forever isn't that great. And then you're going to get -1 to your attack if you're going to attack from a Smoke Cloud that you're popping into to try to on the next turn possibly and try to attack with them.
Well, he wouldn't get it because he can use Smoke Cloud.
Oh, if you can use it, you don't get the -1?
Yeah, it's if you can use Smoke Cloud or you ignore hindering for movement. Yeah, kind of weird wording on that. They might clean it up in the new rules. We'll see. Maybe not. But that has been our assessment on What If. Overall, I think it's a wonderful set. It's fun for sealed. I do think Avengers Defenders War might have been a little more balanced per se, because I think if you do pull a super rare or a chase, you have a pretty high chance of winning in the What If stuff. But I mean, Pedro made a good comment in our off chat. We were talking about if you pull like any of the chases from Avengers Defenders War, you basically have a win. Pulling Hulk is basically a win card. So.
Yeah,
but,
that Hulk.
That Hulk, though. So, let's get into Elseworlds now. So this set's coming out July 15th. We've seen some bricks unboxed. We know Scott Porter did his. Meredith Clix got theirs. I haven't watched theirs yet, so I don't know what they all pulled. I did see a spoiler that there was another speeding bullet Superman. Confirmed?
Yep.
So that's cool. Oh, sorry, Speeding Bullets Batman. So it's Clark Kent raising Gotham again. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
By the way,
I
believe the release date is the 18th because that's the Wednesday of that week. The 15th would be a Saturday, which is very unusual for a Heroclix drop.
Yeah, that would be weird. 18th. No, 19th. 19th is that Wednesday.
19th?
So 12th to the 19th, guys. I am unsure now. I feel embarrassed. I must look at something.
So when I looked at the HC Realms dial evidence, it said it was not the 12th, so it would be the 19th for when it was being released. Though I could have sworn it said the 18th, but
it's July 19th. Yep.
So there you go. Not the 15th. But you were saying the 15th. I was like, that's an odd day for Clix to drop.
You know, I'm not sure why I said the 15th now, because I even told Robert to have our Dormammu event on the 15th, but now I guess we're going to have it on the 19th, because we're going to have our Dormammu Colossal P event the same day as the Elseworlds release. So we're going to be fighting with DC figures to get a Marvel figure.
Erx is mixing up his
we're gonna have to
designer
move.
schedules with the real schedule, so
Yeah.
We're gonna have to move Dano's birthday celebration. Either that or that's gonna be his birthday celebration. So.
Hey, invite him down. That'd be fun. Then after we can go hang out and have pizza or something. Then we'll live stream it and like have everyone say hi for Dano's birthday, and it'll be great. It'll be
All right. Well, anyway, so Elseworlds, back on topic.
All right. So let me review my notes. 1 second here. What did I say? Okay.
Notes. Who needs notes?
You know, when you run a podcast like this, you need notes. Especially when you're on video. You can't reference things because everyone can see you. Hi. Okay. So, this is our Elseworlds chatter. What are you guys most excited for in the Elseworlds set? Is there a figure you were so excited to see that's been revealed, or you're still waiting on one? And then, is there anything you're worried about as far as comparing it to What If to this, that you're kind of like saying, oh, I hope they don't do this, or hope this doesn't happen, or I'm super excited for this. Just give it to me straight. I want to know. Who's first?
Let's keep it normal. I'll keep going first today.
All right, Brandon, good one.
You go, BZ.
I'm going to go
one. Easy number one.
So something that's been revealed, and then something I hope that gets revealed. I'm going to go with kind of that. So I am a huge Green Lantern fan. So like of all the DC, I'm a big Marvel guy, but of DC stuff, Green Lantern is by far my favorite like series of books just to read. So I was super excited to see, like when I was reading over this stuff earlier, Green Lantern of Krypton. Basically Clark Kent or Superman having a lantern ring. How cool would that be? I mean, that's pretty cool. But then
a little excessive, but okay.
It gets me thinking. I was like, well, I would love to see the Flash with the Lantern Corps ring, or Batman with a Green Lantern Batman or Green Lantern Flash would be freaking awesome.
There actually is a Batman. There is a Batman with the Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, I know. I have him. He's awesome.
Have you seen the one that American Beast showed?
There's a new one in this set. It's called the Green Lantern of Gotham.
Has he been revealed?
Yeah, he's on the he's on the realms.
The Merry guys opened one this morning that has a big or gigantic boxing gloves that give giant reach 3, and you can ignore elevation and characters, and
what?
Also yes, and wait. That's not the impressive part. That's the easy part. And they have a power. Go ahead.
Who is this? Wait, what figure is this?
Green Lantern. It's a Green Lantern. They didn't give points or rarity.
It's a Green Lantern. Okay.
That has this big freaking boxing glove. I think the power is a little bit less exaggerated than that, but it's something big, giant glove, boxing glove, and it gives giant reach 3, ignores elevation and characters. That's one. But the real impressive one is I cannot keep you overcharged for long or super hyped for long, in which he can give a character, if I think it's 3 squares in line of sight, if I recall correctly, invincible and +1 damage until the next round.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And then he takes 1 unavoidable damage.
Is this a super rare?
It probably means he loses the power at that point. When he takes
likely. But then there's many sorts of heal nowadays, so it's
wow.
But so if we have a Green Lantern of Krypton, a Green Lantern of Gotham, why can't we have a Green Lantern of Central City? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, true.
So that's your biggest letdown. There's not one in Central City, huh?
Well, we don't know. I don't know what hasn't been revealed yet. I have hope.
There's very little. They've gone through quite a bit, and Green Lantern I'm okay with. Like you, BZ, Batman and Green Lantern are my 2 favorites from DC all around.
Yeah.
So the Flash is slowly creeping up there. That blasted CW show, dang it, so good. So, yeah. But I'm happy for all those things. Pedro, I guess you're next because Mike won't go anything but last. So.
I like what Mike said before regarding power level and other stuff. I think that this set is amazing. I mean, and I hope there is a friendly competition going on in Wizkids where the DC guys always try to one up Marvels. So I think What If was great, but I think Elseworld has the chance of one up in terms of going for the right picks, picking something different, something more challenging. I think that the fact that they brought an extra shifting focus Batman and Superman to the world finest set is ridiculously good. So much paying attention to to the whole continuity of the game and renew in the sense of you don't forget your old sets. They're still useful. You can can always be revisiting them. That shows so much unity of vision and more holistic approach to their own product. That one to me, it's the whole thing that this set is about. Making the bold choices. Some of them will go right, some of them will go wrong. Batman changing to the Joker creature is crazy. It's an amazing story. The pieces reflected, so people getting shocked and getting tokens for what's going. This is all fits into me, really cool. And having the uncommon Bat God that is so powerful, and like Mike
Oh, I
said,
know.
it's not gonna be the ultra. It's not gonna be the Goblin King. But if you go unprepared and don't take that piece seriously, a guy with an uncommon will give you a run for your money. So it's super cool. It's super cool. That's the thing that I'm enjoying the most. I'm not particularly worried yet. I'm super curious about the other chases. I've heard that they're gonna be Dark Knight Return chases themed. So Superman is awesome. I want to see the others for sure. The Superman is also super fun and aggressive. So I'm loving. I'm loving. I'm basically loving. And of course, our long eternal dream of having a strong pirate team is getting closer and closer by the minute. So
Oh, that pirate Batman, dude! I'm so excited. I hate that he's
it's
super
coming.
rare.
It's coming. The pirate team is coming.
Dude, Pirate Deadpool stock just went way up.
Yep.
I gotta get me one.
Yep. The parrots, the two pogs with perplex and pirate keywords being used all around, and leadership that gives an extra
Too good.
token and claim them off.
Too
So
good.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Because you know what's funny about that? And I just saw this today with Pirate Deadpool. So, Pogs, right? They get keywords too, just like from Deadpool. So, those new Spider Man and Punisher Serpent Pogs for 15 points each, hypersonic pirates. Yeah. See what I'm getting at? Woo!
I'm telling you, man, pirates. Write them down.
No.
You heard here first.
Don't write them off, guys. They're going to be something soon. I can feel it. So I am so super stoked about this whole set, guys. Like, I've been watching all the unboxings except for Heroclix. I haven't watched theirs yet because I've been busy working today. But I will watch it after this cast for sure. See what they pulled. And I want all of it. I want so much of the set because all my favorite superheroes, like, they focus on all the main characters and some weird ones too that like I've never seen before. Like Planetary, I have no idea what that is, but I want them. And the characters from the Nail, that just seems like a really cool set of figures. The High Noon trait is broken. Mike will get on that in a second. I'm sure he has something to talk about that. But Pedro said it first. You saw my reaction. The shifting focus Batman, Superman are my two favorite things ever in their comments. I'm so happy.
That's a gift from Wizkids. Way to go.
Oh, it so is. Just giving those pieces more love and more attention. It even gives you kind of a Dow reference. Like, even though it's just for them, because it doesn't have the cards, the old ones do not, you can still say, okay, they have this many clicks now. You have to memorize, oh, did Superman have 7 or 6? I think it was 7 clicks, but, and I say, oh, well, they all have this many clicks, so it's pretty easy to find out now. I like that. Honestly, I'm not worried about anything. Like, all of it looks really good, and I'm kind of jealous about that. There was a lot of good stuff in What If, but this stuff's like, what is this DC stuff? Why are they trying to one-up Marvel, it seems like, every sinking time? And I'm a big Marvel fan, but DC figs and Heroclix have always been just really good. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll let Mike go. He's itching over there. Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
So one of the things I'm anticipating the most are these Justice Riders with this High Noon trait, and how if they targeted somebody, they have to be targeted back. The Kid Flash with this full range on hypersonic, I could zip out, shoot somebody, and run and hide. And that character, if he can't shoot me, he can't target anybody. Or if I have a barrier for, we'll say the Batman, who, shoots somebody, I bury him in, You either have to blow up that train, or the character they shot can't shoot anybody this turn. Yeah, I can see that being used as a meta tactic going forward from what we would normally call point denial to now you're just looking at attack denial.
Attack denial.
You can't attack anybody. It's worse than an end cap because I've damaged you and now you can't do anything back. Next turn, I can just do it again. That's 2 attacks where I've just basically reduced one member of your force to nothing. And if you're running a big tent pole, I mean, imagine that on Worldbreaker Hulk. I shoot him. You can't hit me back. You can't hit anybody else. I'm going to shoot you again the next turn. You can't hit me back. You can't hit anybody else. Go on to the next turn. I noon traded people. They just pass it off back and forth. A couple of Green Lanterns to box them in. I've locked down your temple.
Yeah, and they hypersonic without having the range. So that's
that's so cool.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm a little bit disappointed to see, and this is just a personal thing, I noticed there are a lot of generics in the set. Big disappointment for me. And then I am not really on board with this alternate Earth trait thing that they've got going on, where I keep this figure on my sideline, replace it with one figure that has this name, or replace anyway, I bring them in. And this was the that's not Superman trait from Superman Wonder Woman, which I've never seen anybody use effectively because the way that those pieces are set up and the fact that they don't let you bring in a higher point, but they have to be lower point, and there's no point denial there. Why am I changing out a figure that would already be better for less points, less power level, and I'm still going to give you the same amount of points? I'm not seeing how that trait's working. And even when I compare the dials, I mean, if you bring them in late game, these figures that you're bringing in from your sideline and what if, they're better top dials. So I'm bringing them in right from the beginning. What is this, like a different sort of one-way shift in focus? I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around this trait and how to use it properly. And I think it's a waste.
Yeah, I agree completely with you, Mike. But I'm trying to see the silver lining here, but I agree with you. It doesn't make tactical sense you're going to be worse, and if you're worst off and you lose, at least it could be a tactic of point denial and say, well, if you're going to take me in the end, take me for my lower point. But if it's still the first one, then. But I'm seeing a couple ones, I won't remember by heart, and it's hard to place them there, of crazy last clicks, a few figures with lower point that has one last, redeeming click before dying. Maybe, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, you will be able to be on a second to last click, go to a lower point character on their last click, and then have this last super click before dying, and then trying to go for a Hail Mary there. But other than that, I agree with you, it's just pointless and give a false sense of
So far the only one that I've seen that really has any justice to it is Peter the Hunter, because you could have a really low end Spider-Man, bring him in, so you've got like 100-point Spider-Man, hypersonic, gets beat down to the very tail end of his dial where he's got that last ditch effort, and you're like, you know what, forget this. I'm bringing in 90-point Peter the Hunter. He's going to club something to, hey, I'm back to the top dial. That is a genius use for that power. But unless they attach something like that for every figure that has that trait, unless they have like a high or what you call death scream or a regen on that last click, I'm not seeing this alternate Earth trait being utilized in any game. I mean, I won't even just limit to the meta. The people that I see play casually, they don't even look at that. They're like, why would I do that? So, I don't know. It's one of those things, sounds great on paper. In execution, it just 90% of the time falls flat on its face.
See, what I'm trying to think of is, and Mike, you're absolutely right, it's really weird and off-putting, and it's like, why am I going from this bigger guy to this lower guy? It's really weird. What I think Wizkids has been trying to do, and they have every right to try this and make this work, is they want to create a sideboard for the game. There's always seems to be like that linchpin on the other person's team that you just can't quite kill or get to, or like this is a bad matchup. So you have these options to trade out to try and mitigate that downfall of your team. Like, I'm not sure I can give like an example because there's a lot of them, but let's say you didn't bring Stealth Bus in your team thinking, oh, I shouldn't need it. No one has stealth. And all of a sudden, your whole other team has stealth. Like, whoa, crap. Well, hey, good thing I made this other Iron Man I bought who has stealth busting. Oh, maybe not.
Because they don't. Say,
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's when I look for that strategy. Like, okay, so it's a half shifting focus. It's I need to tag this guy in instead because he's going to be more effective. But they effectively did that as best they could with shifting focus. You have your whole sideboard with your set of Deadpools, and that Deadpool has everything he needs on every different dial. Or you have all your Superman. You've got everything you need. You've got all your different Batman. You've got everything you need. Why am I doing a one-way swap and saying, that's it. I'm not denying you points. I'm changing out for one different figure. Why? And that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm trying to figure that out and like think I know they want to create a sideboard. Like that's why ID cards were a thing. I know that's the reason why they did those. They wanted to give players an alternative to their team and not saying, oh, I'm stuck with this team. I can't do anything to change it. If I have a bad matchup, I am screwed. So I know they're playing with mechanics to try and give you that sideboard to fix it. And shifting focus is a great one. Like they have nailed, I think, the sideline with those figures because each of them have their own power set based on the thing they need. The alternate universe thing is just not cutting it. And I think the Wait, That's Not Superman had the same problem. It just didn't quite fill the need you were looking for because the point values just weren't there. So
I think the main downfall of that is the point value because you have to go from a higher character to lower character, and then because Wait, That's Not Superman turns into a different version of Superman. The character's not different enough for it to matter. You've got Iron Man or Tony Stark. Well, look at what Tony Stark Iron Man or Doctor Strange. Look at what they both normally have: Hensai, Run Shot, Probability Control, ESD. They're the same character all the way down the line. You're just trading it out for different numbers, a different power set collection at that point. You really have to know your dials and plan around that. And if you don't land on that specific click, it's just it's too persnickety to really be useful for that sideboard. But I'd like to see somebody use it and make it work. I really would.
Yeah, it's tough. There might be future usages. You could see like when Super Rare Iron Man loses his pickup power, and if you're on like click 6 or 7, you can switch in maybe Dr. Stark, and all of a sudden you have penetrating psychic blast and sidestep. It might be okay. It might be useful. But I don't know. I don't like it necessarily. I don't like that it's on them. I'd rather them start the game and then I can bring in an Iron Man or Doctor Strange from like a different set that doesn't have it into the game. I thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think
that's what we're hoping for.
I remember I had texted Eric's about it because I had misread it. And I was like, oh, dude, this freaking Peter Hunter is going to be cool. And I can bring in Alyosha Craven, Prime Craven from the sideline into the game. I'm like, oh, wait, this power is not reading this way. That would have been way cooler. And then Craven, I could push him and go back to stop click.
So you can't even use those ones because both of them Spirit Foes of Spider-Man are Craven, not Craven the Hunter. So either they've got some plans for some more Craven the Hunter in the future, or they're looking at that trade appealing to the Golden Age crowd specifically.
Then I gave Eric some hope. I was like, that means there's another Spider-Man set in the works right now.
There always is. X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman.
So, I'm gonna say right now, 2018. I want to see a Secret Wars OP event or set.
Oh my God!
That is what I really want because
they do Secret Wars like Civil Wars, but well done. Can you imagine? Yeah. Oh my God!
It would almost be a better What If set, which is sad, but
yeah.
Because I've seen the stuff in Secret Wars, and there is some interesting stuff in those books. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so Mike talked about stuff. We were rambling about Elseworlds. I'm kind of lost. Where are we, guys? See here.
We were wrapping up our Elseworlds expectations.
Right. Okay. Overall, are you guys excited for it? This is getting back to one of the best shield sets ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy it? Of course we
Almost
are.
as excited for.
Like, I have no doubt.
For you to have a sense, and sorry to interrupt, for here in Brazil, it's really hard for people to get sets. So usually what people talk most is which pieces to get, because it's a lot easier and simpler and cheaper, even for shipping, to discuss, which ones are the best ones. We're gonna go for Cosmic Spider-Man, Goblin King, blah blah blah. Nothing new there. But the hype here to say now we have our works cut for us, because we need to find a way to have kings come in. It's the hype. Everybody's talking about this one. I'm not gonna be enough to just get singles. We're gonna have to find a way to get the cases.
Right. I'm so sorry, Pedro. That's rough for you guys in Brazil. You guys have some cool players out there. I follow the Heroclix Brazil channel on Facebook, and I'll tell you what, those guys are the kings of early spoilers.
Oh, dude,
I don't know how they do it. Well, I don't know what kind of black market deals they are into, but holy cow, they always have everything first. I'm like, how? How do you guys do it? I'm so jealous.
Everywhere.
So that's cool then. If you guys haven't followed them on Facebook, please do. You guys will see early spoilers there first. Everyone usually shares from their page outward, so you will see it on other channels you may be following, but they are usually the first, and so it's pretty cool. I try and share their stuff whenever I can on our page as well, and always thank them. They're just cool guys. I want to meet Tiago Pentadiluz someday, because he's a great guy to talk to.
Yep.
And so hopefully one day we'll get him on here chatting with us. Maybe Pedro can sweet talk me to hang out with us for a day.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
The Brazilian champ, man. How cool would that be to meet that guy?
Yep. He's
All
awesome.
right. So, Elseworlds, great. So, moving right along, we have something else to talk about. It was something important. I think it's the new design insight. Yes. Oh, before we go into that, though, George chimes in. He's texting me. He says his most favorite want from Elseworlds will be Templar Oliver Queen. We forgot about him. The anti-Mystics Buster. I am so excited for that guy.
Yeah, that guy looks cool.
So the generic Templars do that too, though.
Do they really?
Yep.
I didn't know they had that same power. That's pretty cool. So, okay. Anyways, design insight. So Wizkids did Origins. They had both national championships and the World Champions and Team Worlds. So congrats to all the winners. Of course, Dustin Cedars, Howard Brock, and Team Lucky Dice, I believe, won Worlds. Congrats to those guys again. But they looked at their scorings. They looked at what was played. They've made a new watch list. We now have on the watch list Goblin King, Jakeem Thunder, Faust, #again, and Pim Particle Tank. These are all figures that we've all seen. What was that?
Pocket Tank.
Oh, Pocket Tank, yeah.
It's called Pim Pocket Tank.
Because it's the 8-point. Now it's called a bystander, by the way. And it's just something you throw at people, and it does penetrating damage and grows into a big one and just wreaks havoc on any team. Every team was playing it. It's like, if you don't play this, you're going to lose. It is kind of crazy to see something like that. And I'm like, wow. So we're seeing what's going on with those. I'm sure they're going to wait till Gen Con is over to see what happens there, and I'm sure we'll see an assessment after that. We have all had our own talks about what we think should change. Do you guys want to go into that, or?
Sure.
Yeah, you guys want to chime in on that a little bit? I wasn't going to at first, but if you guys feel the need, I'm glad to give you guys that voice to do so. So, Brandon, what were your thoughts on those 4 figures real quick?
Well, I know I had some thoughts, and I think I've changed my mind on some thoughts.
Okay, that's good.
I don't think, I'm thinking about, because it's what if Goblin King, or basically Green Goblin, had the Infinity Gauntlet? I don't want to change anything on him. I think he's costed right. I like how his power works. I don't want to change anything there. I would like to see them change on Jakeem. Instead of beginning of turn, I'd rather them just have a free action for him.
Whoa.
My biggest issue with Jakeem is people that play him, their beginning of the turn takes so long to decide what they want to do because they have to decide their entire turn before they pick their powers. And then if something goes wrong, then it takes them time to figure out what they want to do to adjust for that. And I think it'll save time if you just let it be a free action in general, which I think is something that I think Wizkids would want to do anyways. I think it'll also, it'll make Jakeem a little bit stronger, but in my opinion, not really. It's the same. I think it'll just speed it up, which actually gives the advantage to the other player in general. Just you have more time to react and more turns to kind of take him down.
That's fair.
Faust, I don't know. I think there's too much stuff they have to do to fix Faust that they just need to take the rock route and just ban him. Like, just get rid of him.
Nix that guy. We're done. It's like, guys, she's been here too long. Just drop that mic. Let's move on.
Yeah. And then
it doesn't help that Brock won against one in the final, right? So everybody wants it banned, but then Eddie goes there and say, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm cooler than that." And then Wizkids can say, "You see, well, there were 90. A lot of teams had it. Most of the teams had it. It made it to the finals, but not a deciding factor." And he rolled all the yellows, so you cannot say that Faust were there rolled badly. He did what he was supposed to do, and Eddie just couldn't care less about it and just steamrolled everyone and played like a beast and had the best call-in positioning for Nick Fury I ever saw live for this game and just took the game right there. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's just, I don't know. Yes, it takes lucky dice rolls to get him, but some of his lockdown powers are just stupid.
No, but I think you made the best comment. It takes so much fixing. Like, put Light of Fire for the powers to get in, or give power actions to all of them, or make a. I'm with you. Don't try to. It's too broke to try to fix it. It's gonna be a crazy.
Too broke can't fix it. Just
give it up. It's gonna be a Frankenstein of the hat on top of it. You're gonna need a course to play Felix. You have your certificate to play Faust, sir? No, then you can't play with
you have your certificate.
Are you licensed to play Faust on this WKO? No, sir. So your license expired. You're still playing under the old rules number 3 on their hat.
It's like, do you have your super edited card? I didn't print one off. Then no, you can't play him. It's done. Get out of here.
But Pocket Tank, I would probably say that penetrating damage probably needs to happen after the damage gets done. I think it just makes more sense that the tank lands after the attack hits, or it could be done. Maybe all damage is penetrating and it's all done at the same time. I don't know.
It's really the fact that the tank damage is not from an attack at all. It's an effect. So it's completely nullifying, like Bizarro's stop clicks. Like, the fact that it can one-shot those Mystics now is, like, terrifying. And, yeah, Mystics doesn't even worry about that. So
yeah, it's tough. Like, I still think I like that it's penetrating, which, like, for me, a big tank following all you probably should do penetrating damage.
It makes sense. It's thematically correct.
I don't. If they were to change it, I would say do the penetrating damage after. I don't think I'm hating either way on it. I kind of like the way it works out, the way it is.
If I may, I would at least remove the penetrate just to make it simple. I'm not saying that is the best solution, but I'll simply remove penetrating. The way I see it is that Wizkids have been doing a wonderful job in, to some extent, diminishing the point figures number, re-equalizing the power. Leadership is going to be an incentive. I may be wrong, but to me, leadership would be incentive to go more towards swarm than 10 poles because you have a natural extraction there. So you're convincing everybody to say, play team with more figures, more action, more interaction, more strategy, more position, more everything. Now let's create something of 8 points and anyone can use it. Just squash your whole team. We convince everybody to make lower figures with no armor. No, kill all of them. And you're wrong. Tempo is the way to go. Just get a tempo, 5 damage, tank on top of everything, energy explosion the next round, throw the dice in your opponent's face, walk away bragging, and don't look back.
I think the penetrating can stay. I just think Wizkids needs to be clear. Like, when does this damage hit? You choose, and everybody's going to be the same way. Whether you do it before the damage is taken or after. Just decide which one, not put it up to like, okay, well, he has this, so I'm going to do this first and then this, or something like that. Like, I would rather Wizkids just be clear, like, damage is done, this 2 penetrating is done before the attack damage is taken or dealt, or this 2 penetrating is done after.
Yeah. I think it's not as offensive to me if you're gonna go against a 10 pole. The guy can recover from a 2 penetrating because other figures could do 2 penetrating, and when you're a 10 pole team, rearranging the team is not a big deal. But when you're gonna squash all your team, do 2 penetrating on everyone, and then scatter them around the tank. I think that they thought they had a great idea in making it a easy trade-off of conceding 50 points to your opponent, because most likely he can get a secondary attacker and just get your 50 points on the big tank. But in the current meta, or where you're incentivizing swarm team, not incentivizing swarm team, but there's a reason to have smaller characters that are also very effective, Green Lanterns, overdrives, and whatever. 50 points is not enough. It's not a big enough of a trade-off, because you can destroy a whole team and make all the synergy go away with one good placement of the tank, and that's it. So I don't know, I like the idea. It's well executed in terms of the mathematics to the proposal, but I don't think the proposal is very fruitful for the game. So
yeah, it's crazy, guys. Like, I honestly, I don't know what I would change on these figures. You guys had some great options. My only thing with the Pim tank was, like, if you're gonna make damage penetrating, either include it in the attack, or don't let it be its own thing. Like, that's the thing that's breaking it to me, is the fact that it's effect damage, it's penetrating, that doesn't involve being with an attack, which is just weird for that.
Yeah.
In gameplay interaction. That's it for that. Jakeem and Goblin, I think Jakeem is fine. He will be nerfed when the new rules come out. He can be outwit. He is done. Like, if anyone has any outwit, he is SOL. He's going to be not having fun anymore. Goblin King is a problem because he's power cosmic. He gets his powers, they roll through. There's no way to take them away from him unless you say he can't use them, which Nick Fury is the only thing that stops that. And I guess,
no.
Well, the Riddler kind of too.
Peggy Carter and the Riddler, and that's it.
But yeah. I think with him out there, it still makes them relevant. I think they become less relevant when the new rules hit.
Right.
Other than having characters like this.
Right. And I want to see more play with Goblin King. I like Goblin King because as 175, he is the equivalent of a fully decked out Jakeem Thunder. Like, Jakeem by himself as a figure is nowhere near as powerful as Goblin King, because everyone says Eclipso and Brainiac have to be on Jakeem for him to be good. Like, so you're basically tacking on 176 a figure with stuff on him for him to be good. Like, how is that good? Because he has one look of life and his style, his specs are a little bit better. My guy can't be outwitted. Ever. And I can keep the same powers, and I have no restrictions what I can pick at all. Now, that's really busted, but he does have a stinking Infinity Gauntlet on. It's thematic to the game. Sure, it's really dumb when your opponent has a figure like that, but they're paying a lot of their team for it in 300-point meta. So that's just my thoughts on him, but hey, whatever they do, I will accept, because I want this game to keep growing and to be diverse, and I want to see more in different teams. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't want to see a Goblin King, Jakeem, and Pocket Tank on every single team at a Worlds event. Yeah. I want to see a game where we can see a Peace Machine on one team. We can see a Joker on a team. We can see a Spider-Man on a winning team, a Superman. Like, characters that people love. Like, I would love to see, like, AEW Iron Man, the Super Iron Man, be on a winning team for a big event, because someone liked Iron Man so much and used his powers to pick powers effectively enough to win with him at his point values. I just want the game to go back to being that, and not saying, well, if I don't play this figure, I'm going to lose. That just is not healthy for the game.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of stuff on that, and so I just want to touch on that a little bit. But
and it's a little bit lazy in terms of team building, right? Because you're gonna say, why do I have to have a team? Why do I have to worry about the best guy to give me support, the best guy to give me out with, etc.? When I just say, 175 point is well priced, well rounded. I'll pick whatever I want when I need it. So it's to me, it's just like to me, the flexibility should come of making a great team that's versatile, or a trade-off of saying, my team is great against with penetrating damage. So if your team is fragile to it, I won. But that's it. That's my trade-off. If it's not, then I'll have a problem. I have to find out a way. They just say, well, I'll just put this amazing guy there, and he'll find a solution because I can pick whatever is the solution that I need when I need it. I like it more like in a Batman where you can pick any damage power, or trade-offs like Iron Man. I think Iron Man is a very well constructed piece where it's powerful, is intimidating, but it's not going to be game break. You're not going to sit there and say, "Oh my God, an Iron Man, whatever, I don't know what to do." You study, you see him play, and you react to it. It's fun, it's fine, it's okay, but like you said, it forces everybody to play it because you're going to be playing a constant game of counter picking the pick up power from your opponent, which is to me it's too simple. It's just playing Swiss Army knife 1v1.
And that's another thing too, is like I've heard a lot of talk on people missing resources because the resource was a thing that could make a figure really good, no matter what the figure was. That's why there's a lot more diversity back in the day with like the power batteries and the bat belt and the old ones are like more single, I guess, to a character, not like a whole team based. I think the batteries are a bad example; those are way too good. But like having the bat belt or the gauntlet on one figure and just making them your super powered awesome hero, that was fine because that means any single player in the game can say, okay, I'm gonna take this super rare Spider-Man, put the gauntlet on him, and just wreck you with him. Because now I'm gonna get some reducers out of this thing. I'm gonna get some extra powers out of this thing, some blades claws in there maybe, some charge or whatever, and just go ham with Spider-Man. But now it's like we don't have that option, and I'm okay with resources going away. I really am. The thing I hate about resources is they slow the gameplay down. You're trying to fumble with your picking of your placing of your resource pieces, whatever. They're too slow for a healthy 45 to 50-minute game, whatever. And there's just not enough interaction. People are sitting there fumbling with their sideline, with their resource, saying, "Oh, I gotta do this thing. I gotta remember my beginning of turn effects." No, we don't need that. We just need characters that are going to be good on their own, always, have little pickup power things that, for instance, like, even like Claw, picking an attack power is fair. Hat from World's Finest, being able to pick an attack power or take a power action for a damage power. Just little things to get that one power that's not overpowered that can make your team better in a way. Without having to go out of your way to find, oh, I have to have supreme intelligence for this one thinking power because it's the only way to get it. But guess what? It's a concept figure which costs $40 or more on the market. I just can't afford that right now. So I'm out. So I don't know. There should just be ways to have versatile teams with low cost and just a fresher meta. But it probably won't happen until we have more sets out. Right now, we're in a little shaky time period. It's going to get better. I really, really feel it. I know Wizkids is listening to us, the whole community as a whole. They know what we want, and they're going to make it happen. You want to know why? Because they want to make money. They want to have a good community. They want to actually say that Heroclix has the best community of all in the whole world. Like, if you're playing Clix, you're going to have the best friends. You're going to have the best time at your local venues. There's not any salt between anyone who have good games, That's what we want to strive for with this game. That's what I really want in Heroclix. It's like, I don't want to talk about other games, but I've had some other games I've played, and they just weren't the best. Just salty people, rude players. You want certain things from a game. That's what I want from Heroclix. So, yeah. I ranted too long. Mike, do you have anything you want to say on
Sure. So I've already stated my predictions through our Facebook page, and I do have a new prediction for both Jakeem and Goblin King. Because Iron Man didn't make the watch list, this tells me that there's something they did to him that has bounced him, and Pedro, you brought it into focus for me. He loses his other powers, other than his defense power. If they attach that to both Goblin King and Jakeem, instantly leveled. So you don't have sidestep anymore. You don't have whatever other standard powers that they would have. You get to keep your defense power. That's it. But at the same time, Iron Man can't pick a defense power. So he's been balanced a little bit in that sense, but he still has all the versatility that he needs. And so I think they're going to try and figure out a way to go that direction with it. My initial prediction with Goblin King is that he only gets Power Cosmic at his highest point levels.
That's not bad.
And personally for Jakeem, I think they should just say that he can't be equipped or possessed by anything because he's already got versatility of everything at his disposal. He doesn't need Eclipso attached to him with Supreme Intelligence on the sideline with 5 ID cards in the wings. You know, you're building him up to make him more than he really is. And so I think if they just say you can't equip Jakeem because technically he's already possessed by the Thunderstick.
Brilliant. That would be so brilliant.
You know, it's comic accurate. People can't fight it. They just say, okay, well, you know, Jakeem's drop down and out, and Goblin King, well, you don't get Power Cosmic until you're the highest power levels, and everybody plays him at midline or lower because it's just too much of a gamble to do that full team. And that brings his power level down to the same as Iron Man. Quick, easy fixes for 2 figures. The Pim Pocket Tank.
The Dormammu says that there's something like that. Sorry to interrupt. It has power cosmic in the top line, and when he loses it, he can use willpower. So it's a good trade-off. You don't get completely left in the rain. You know, he's still 175, so you know he should have an extra edge on Hakeem. But it's a brilliant idea. Brilliant. That's it. If you want to play low, either go full way with the Goblin King or just have a mid-range character that's solid, but that's not game-breaking. Brilliant.
And then for the Pim Pocket Tank, you know, I hear you guys going on about how it's all about when the damage happens. Is it part of the attack? Does it happen before? Does it happen after? I can see all the strategy behind that and why that would be a focus. But really, when you think about it, I'm throwing a keychain at you. Is there a reason why that attack does 4 damage before the keychain suddenly expands into a full-size tank and deals you 2 unavoidable damage? No. They could just say the attack from throwing the tank does 0 damage. And then, boom, unavoidable 2 damage. Now, the other thing that I'm looking at that is that now my characters are base locked with a vehicle. You know, I have to focus my efforts on that vehicle, and if I don't, I'm locked down. I think I should be able to auto brake from that vehicle unless it's piloted, because then it's an actual threat. I mean, come on, I can't break away from a car that's parked. What is it? Is it on my foot? Okay, very real possibility with a suddenly expanding tank. But I mean, there's a lot of things they could do there to balance it rather than taking damage away or having to nitpick when it happens. But really, it shouldn't deal damage throwing a keychain at somebody. The attack is, I hit you, so my aim with the keychain was good, and suddenly it massively expands on you and crushes everybody. That's the effect that they're looking for. You know, from there, you know, understanding, you know, rule of occupancy, they have to push out, and you suddenly run somebody and hop them in the tank and take that extra risk for the penetrating damage when I blow it up. I can just walk away from it. It's just it's in the battlefield. I can clean it up later. You know, 50 points to win the game. Sure. You know, and I think that would fix the whole issue there. That would stop the instant death on your green arrows. That would stop the squishing, well, not necessarily squishing of your whole team, but I mean, 2 damage to your whole team, that's a critical pulse wave. That happens.
Yes. Yeah. Or the new explosion. If you don't have reducer, the new energy explosion, that's fine.
Thor, the new Thor with new rules. That's going to happen. Yep. So, I mean, I really don't see that the 2 penetrating damage being an issue. I think it's the fact that they deal damage with it beforehand. I mean, come on, what, a Deadpool loaded in his gun and shot it at you? So, you know, it was a bullet.
And the keyring survived, right? Yeah, you just laser shot someone, and the keyring was strong enough to survive being transported by a destructive laser and then expand into the tank.
And then it threw in this gigantic tank.
Exactly. The same shot. And the one thing is the keyring tank, but when it's a full-size tank, it only has toughness. But while it's a small keyring, it can be shot through a laser.
Exactly. And when it comes to Faust, I've looked at him a lot, and I really think the main issue is that he can choose to roll that D20. That wasn't something they gave to Strange, and Strange got nerfed on his range for those powers, but he has never made it back to the watch list. He has more points, he's worth more, he's got more to his dial, he's all around a better character. But when you look at Faust, he's lower points, and he gets to say, no, I'm going to keep using the same spell. I don't have to re-roll this. There's a chance that can happen.
Yeah,
like you said, he can land on whatever he wants, be it the yellow, be it no power actions, none of this. And you're right, changing all of those lockdowns to power actions, that's a lot of change. It would be very effective because you can only do that a maximum of 2 turns in a row. But if you say that he has to re-roll that die every turn, that's enough randomosity on a d20 that nobody's going to rely on Faust anymore. They're just going to say that's not something I can rely on.
So just take out the d6 roll every turn. That's not.
Yeah, he has to roll it every turn.
Yeah.
Done. And I guarantee you, Faust will fade away because people can't rely on him. Yeah, he's going to have this crazy awesome power level if you get it. But if you don't, now you've got 70 points of liability that you built your entire team around.
Yeah.
The easiest way to shut down Faust is just take away the fact that he gets to keep that die. And, I like that they put these figures on the watch list because they saw everybody was leaning on them so heavily, and that's all that they saw. But at the same time, you got to understand the mentality of a clix here. And I'm going to take the soapbox from you here for a minute, Erix. The idea of a pre-built team has been as old as clix itself. For those who've been around as long as I have, Lamp was a thing. Being able to lockjaw and penetrating poison or trick shot. There were team builds that even back in the day, it was you play this or you lose. And that's what you saw on the circuits. Everybody played the same thing. Somebody thought of something amazing, they ran it out there, they dominated, and everybody followed through with the same thing. And now, when you see pieces that consistently do well, like Jakeem, and you suddenly get a Jakeem on steroids, the Goblin King, everybody's going to lean on it. Everybody. And everybody knows that when you add a resource to your team, it makes it better. So you're going to get your Supreme Intelligences, your Intelligentsia, I guess. You're going to get your Possessors, your Eclipsos. You're going to get your ID cards, which is the last resource that we have now. People are going to look for every possible way to break the game, and it's going to come down to super rare figures that have these crazy off-the-wall powers that you can just find those loopholes. And I know Wizkids is trying really hard to plug those loopholes, but they're going to happen. And in continuing to create these pieces that do this, you're just continuing to push the problem. And the problem is you can't ever stop it, because you take those pieces away, you're taking something away from Heroclix.
Yeah.
The real problem is the competitive level of the game. Is that to be the best, you have to be the best, and it's either your gameplay is on the top or your pieces are on the top. And if you got pieces and gameplay,
boom.
So that's just really where it's at. And the pieces is something you can control. Gameplay is something you have to practice, and then there's the almighty equalizer of the dice. That's Heroclix in a nutshell, and that unfortunately is not something that's ever going to change, or fortunately. And leading into our next topic with what they're proposing to change for the points of the rules, it's really just 6 1 half another. They're trying to force Heroclix players to play Heroclix a certain way, and it's not going to happen. People will always play Heroclix. They want to play the way that they want to play it until they change their mind and see a better or even different way to play the game. One thing I've noticed lately is a lot of figures are moving toward Disruption. Iron Rick, Mystique, all these figures that have Force Blast. All these figures that are supposed to keep your figures from grouping together, but now we've got all these things that your figures are supposed to be grouping together. Like you said, Pedro, there's an incentive to play larger group teams as opposed to a 3-man team like we did back in the day when point values are going really high. It's changing, but those who are resisting that change are going to become more and more progressively upset with Heroclix, because they're going to feel that the way that they've always done things is being taken away from them. They're being forced to do something the way that they don't want to. But the problem is, people are so resistant to the change and adapting to the new, even with the new rules. It's been, a constant uphill battle to try and get people to read these rules, to start learning them, to start playing them, because I often feel people are burying their heads in the sand, hoping they're going to go away. You got to get on board and start doing things the new way. In one of our most recent posts, I said, I like to see imagination and creativity and passion from our Heroclix players, because that's when you get these new combos, these new things that rise up out of the meta that shock everybody, and everybody wants to build that team. Easton Brock obviously has a very keen mind for Heroclix, because I don't know the man, but I guarantee that he probably sits around and looks at lists of figures from time to time and says, I bet if I did this, this, and this would be really awesome. And he plays it. It's all gold. And he thinks about these just amazing off-the-wall teams and how he can put it together, and everybody else is just light years behind him, so they copy, they try and follow, they try and do the things that he does. But then again, you've got his skill level paired with that really great team and puts him above. Even if I were to pick up one of his teams, I'm not going to be as good as he is.
Yeah.
So, rant's coming to a close. Those are my feedbacks on the watch list. I think they're great choices and things that can be changed, but everyone else needs to start looking at the game differently, because the game is changing and we need to change with it.
Yeah.
Let's adapt. All right. So, yeah, Mike segued us perfectly into the next topic. I have instructed Pedro to kind of go over the new what's it called? InDesign article? Design Insight. So, Pedro, will you please walk us through this thing and give us the head to toe what we expect from the new scoring system coming out?
Okay, I'll do a summarized version so people don't get bored of me. But basically, the topic more important of me, they are already, but the topic in and of itself, the point is now first I'm going to start from the finish, because to me that's what made more sense. First, now the new system is going to be by round, so it's not going to be a cumulative process. What they're going to do is you're going to get at the end of of a battle, of a particular match, and you're going to have points that are going to be awarded for the points that you scored on the opponent's team and half your survivor points. So your main punctuation will be the total points that you've done for destroying your team, and you're going to be divided into three tiers. If you get 6 rounds of Swiss instead of going to single eliminations, you go through 6 rounds of Swiss, and every round what you're going to do is you get who won. If you won your match, you get a point. Keep it, save it there. Now, where your other points come from getting the total points that you scored against your opponent. And you're going to be in 3 tiers: the top 33%, the middle 33%, or the bottom 33%. And depending on each category, of course, the higher you are, you're going to get extra points on top of the victory point. And that's going to be the main decider of your placement. Parallel to that, you're also going to get half of your survivor points, and half of your survivor points are going to be the ones that are going to be used to see how you get your pairing and be deciders for the game. And those will only impact you, and this combination will only impact you every round of the Swiss, so you don't get increased advantage, or someone that's really good and doesn't stand on a bye get increased advantage and keep snowballing over it. It's just really to level the playing field on every round, and that also protects the bye guy who's not going to be having extra points for his match, or survivor points for wiping out a team without losing anyone from staying too far back. So basically the idea is that the more points you score, your main source of points will be scoring more points against your opponent without losing your defensive style, which is you're still going to be rewarded by not losing your team. It's not an all-out battle, and the more I kill, the better. The more killing is still a lot better than not killing, but dying still has its consequences. So they want to tip the scales into saying you should score more points by scoring against your opponents than just simply surviving, because we don't think you should be fully rewarded for not engaging in the game. And the idea is that you engage the game to make it happen. I have I'm kind of torn here on this topic, because personally, I love the style, and I've said this in the show a couple times. I like to, it's like a soccer match for me. I like to see many goals. I like to see people engaging. I don't want to see people all full defense and then try to sneak in a goal at the end of a match. But I completely respect and can totally see Mike's point of view into it. You shouldn't force anyone into saying this is the only way the game should be played, or that you're going to be severely harmed by not playing this particular way. I think that they're doing a great job in terms of making you get there by saying, you see, making less pieces the reward certain. I think Mike had it all. It's about the fundamentals, about getting people by the hand into seeing it's more engaging, it's more fun, it's more, I would dare say, honorable to give your opponent a chance to fight and have a crazy fight. That doesn't mean you have to be like, Civil War fight, line them all up and shoot each other until one side is dead. You can be mean, you can put all the tricks, but be there, engage, be there to do. I think that's the main reason. But one thing that my 2 cents on that is only 2 positive things from Wizkids. First, they're trying. I mean, the incentive to make this an engaging game that reflects superheroes battling, and they make this in their comments, which is fun. It's not you get the super villains and the heroes or whatever is the 2 teams and say, okay, we killed one of the thugs. Now let's run. Mission accomplished, right? It's not like the kind of thing that happened. We finally got, thug number 3. Now they're going to be dismantled. We got the head with thug number 3. Let's move away. So that's one. And second, that they're going to try it beforehand. So they're going to simply implement it and force it on people. I think this respect for the players. I'm hoping, beyond hope, that this will be a sign for the guys who will resist playing this style to say, we don't want to force it on you. We want you to give a chance. Maybe we'll enjoy it. And if you don't, let us know, and you'll procure a different way to cater for you. I think running should be an option. I think if you played better and by eventually you are in the very end of the match and you have a situation in which running makes sense because you are outmatched, then it's absolutely fair. But going to the battle to see, I'll seek the most exploitive way and just kill one and sit there, it's fair, it's valid. It's like Mike said, it's what the best will do. It's whatever it takes. It's competitive. As long as you're not cheating or ripping anyone off, it's part of the game and you should be prepared for it. But it's not the most friendly and engaging way to tackle it. And if you can diminish that by rewarding positive attitude, why not?
Thanks, Pedro. Appreciate you. So, I was really confused on this. They mentioned in the article that this used to be a thing in Heroclix in like the first 5-ish years of its demise. I asked Kevin about it because he's like the oldest player I know from the very first years again. That's when he played the most. And I said, you ever heard the term keep points or survival points? He's like, oh, you mean the thing where people would basically hold themselves into like a barrier for the whole game and then like last minute snipe a guy and then win because they had your points plus all of their whole team? That was the thing. He's like, oh yeah, it was bad. Like, oh, so is it better if they half that? A little, but still. I'm not sure that's going to help the scoring thing at all. And I was like, I still don't understand. Like, I read the article, and they're trying to, stop the whole take 25 points and run, because that just doesn't make for a very fun game, because playing cat and mouse is never a fun game at Clix for anyone. Even if you're on the winning end, you're just basically saying, okay, I perplex, I barrier, I'm going to outwit, insert 10 minutes later, that power, and then clear. Are you serious? It took you that long? Oh, come on! It's a really bad stall tactic, and I was like, they were actually noted this in their article, and I'm like, wow, they actually see this. This is blowing my mind. They're actually putting this down. And I'm like, okay, so you're trying to basically force us, which is bad, to attack more, but in the spirit of the game, we are playing heroes versus heroes or heroes versus villains, and since we want to just, move up the board and have a duke out brawl, that's always the most fun. Like, I have players in my local venue who just say, I never want to stay put. I want to keep on attacking. When my good friend Randall played, that's all he loved to do. He was never the kind of guy to just sit in a spot and just not do anything. He would get to you, attack, 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 attack. And he had the most fun doing that. And I could see that style of play. But if you're that aggressive and you miss all your rolls, you're just putting your whole team for your opponent that has their opportunity to retaliate back, kill all of your figures or mortally wound them, and then they win the game. I'm not good with numbers either, Paige. That's how I want you to do it. I'm sure you're good with numbers. The whole, like, your kill points are the most high tier, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then your survival points are next in line.
Yeah. You're not gonna score. Your survivor points are not is not gonna affect your total points for the match, but it's gonna affect how you rate. It's gonna be the tiebreaker between your rating for the next switch.
Yeah, it's
right.
like you have to get into a certain tier, and then if you win your match, you get an extra tournament point. It's like if you're in the top third, you get 3 tournament points. If you're in the middle third, you get 2 tournament points. If you're in the bottom third, you get 1 tournament point. If you win your match, you get +1 tournament points. So if you take out a full 300 points team and you survived the 300 points, you're obviously going to be in the top third, and you'll have 4 tournament points for that.
Gotcha.
Then they'll kind of match it up that way. It's not terrible, but like if you only took out 50 points and you survived, your whole team survived at 300 points, you're going to get 200 match points, and you might, even with the victory, you might be in the middle third. So you might only have 3 tournament points and not 4 tournament points.
So it's really to help your tiebreakers then and kind of place you better based on your performance of the game. Yeah. Not so much.
Yes.
I like how they're I think they need to play test it. Like, and I think it might be something that
works. I'm pretty sure they're going to implement this at Gen Con.
Yeah.
To see how it goes, because that's their next big thing. And that will give them data on the watch list characters, because you'll be playable in that still. And then the scoring system and see how it works out.
Yeah. I think it only works for big tournament, like bigger tier tournaments. So like your home game obviously is not going to change to something like this, nor should it.
I mean, if it's on the win though, and that's they have it calculated now, it might. Which I don't think it'll matter in a local game, but it's going to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to interject here, and just from the mind of the person who seeks the win, as it is, I'm going to win at all costs. It's the meta mindset. Okay, go ahead. Change how the points are done. I'm still going to build my team. I can still turtle the whole game here at the very end and get my victory because I had more points than you did. And even though you scored half of your victory points, my whole team is still alive. And I'm still going to have the win. And at a 3-0 victory, I'm still coming in first. Go ahead and shuffle amongst yourselves for first or second to last place. I'm going to sit at the very top with my championship title, and this is all going to be beneath me. So have a nice day. And that's the mindset. That's what it's going to be. This is jockeying for position without changing the fact that the play style is still going to win the day. It's all that it is. All right, do you disagree with me, Pedro, here?
No, I agree completely. Like we said, you're gonna find at least what's the most effective way to win, and if it's still there, just change the math a little bit. They're gonna do the calculation, and that's the point. And if you get it, then you have to make such a drastic change. It's gonna be whatever. You have to kill at least half your team to qualify, and then people will say now it's broken. Now it's not worth playing because this is too much force. I agree with you. It's hard. I like the way they were doing it, and maybe I'm too crazy, but subtle means colossal retaliation. Now, if you hit someone from our team, I have a bigger chance of not allowing you to escape. Stop the fully undying team that just is completely unfair. If the guy has to have a particular composition to be. I think they're getting there. Maybe they're going to have this point that they're going to play test it and see it doesn't go anywhere, and they'll try something different. But I think, like you said, again, I don't want to be a fanboy, but it's what you said. You have to change the fundamentals of the game for people to look at it and say, meta-wise, I might as well enjoy a good brawl because it's not meta effective to just snipe someone at the very last moment. The best way to do here is have an aggressive team that is all around solid and will just steamroll the opponent. But make it meta. Make it the meta. Don't make a meta that allows you to call in Nick Fury with Goblin King with Perplex probability control and then snipe you 12-6 because you have 3 guys that are worth 20 points giving power actions to him and doing a max 3 damage on Nick Fury too. As long as there's a cannon there to go through the whole map and catch you, why bother? Why do different?
So, this is what I understand. Mike's thing makes a lot of sense for the 3-0 metagamer winner. But what if there are other metagamer winners who want to be that same mindset? So these new scoring things, you're going to tell them, saying, okay, if the guys who are playing because the old way and not with the new rules, they're going to do their old mindset and just barrier up, kill one thing, and hide. They're going to win. They're going to get half their build and the points they scored, sure. But if I make a team where I can roll your entire team and win and keep mine, I'll be above that guy. That's what they're trying to do. You are now fighting for that top spot with the more points you get. They want you to kill for more points.
Yeah, but the thing you're looking at here, it's still the wins, though, and depending on how big the tournament is, like you're saying, that if it only works for bigger tournaments. This is what BZ was saying. You have to have 4 or 5 people all come in at 3-0, and then you're calculating they did within their 3-0 to depend on who takes first. You get into smaller tournaments like the ones that Eric and I have typically participated in, anywhere from 16 to 32 people. It comes down to one person was undefeated all day.
Yeah,
it comes down to a championship match between 2 people who are undefeated, and whoever wins that match takes the day. That's all there is to it.
It's also a way that you don't get screwed if you get lined up if you're in a big tournament, you might get lined up in a bye and you don't get screwed. You get 3 tournament points no matter what on the bye. Yeah. But sometimes because what do they give you now on the bye? Do they give you 1 point and a win, or do they give you 150 points and a win?
0 point
it's 150 and a win. No, it's 150 and a win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's half your build and a win, which is what the new system. That's what the new system's going to be.
Oh, new system says because it's
that's what that's
half.
That's
half a point.
It's half your build and a win.
No, the new system, they said you'll get 3 tournament points on a bye in there. That's what it said on it.
Wow. Really?
I don't even think they're going to tier you within the thirds of the thirds or within the groups. You just get 3 tournament points.
Yes.
That's good. So buys are great.
Well, you're automatically in that middle group.
Yep.
With a win.
All right. Well, so
we'll have to wait and see.
We'll definitely wait and see. But I think that hopefully helps you guys at home see what the new torture is going to be. It'll probably only really matter at the big Wizkids events. So, even if they implement it into your local venue, it'll feel probably the exact same as it always has. I guarantee your local venue has between 6 and 12 people regularly, and it'll just be the same as always. But when you go to the big tournaments, you will see a definite pairing change where you can place, and hopefully it'll help you place higher because you're going to score points based on your performance, not so much just the win or did I get any points at all or none. Because at least you're going to score some if your stuff lived. So, stuff to look forward to. George wanted to chime in real quick. He's texting me still on this thing. Real quick, he wanted to say, if it does stick after all this is said and done, he thinks it will benefit newer players to be less discouraged on a loss.
Yeah.
Because they will actually feel like they're benefiting from either surviving or killing as they're doing and still be able to progress in the tournament. And since it's Swiss, they will be cut right away, which will be very nice for them. He says, especially for himself, he's been doing a lot of clix tournaments in his 4 years of playing. And when it comes to WKOs and ROCs, he feels he'll have a much better chance progressing with those in play. And so he's kind of excited to see how they work out. So guys, from a player who's been playing for 4 years and is just now starting to enjoy kind of the meta game, and he's excited for a new change in the scoring points. That's cool to hear. That's what George would say. Last notes.
Yeah, I think if I can make a super quick last comment, and I
Go
don't know
ahead.
if you guys will agree. To me, we're kind of not we, but Wizkids is discussing the how to say that in English? I don't know. Say the kind of small thing in the eye of the elephant where you're missing the whole point. To me, the big change here is the fact that you're going to go to 6 rounds of Swiss and stop single player elimination, because when you go to 6 rounds of Switch, it's whoever makes more points. So you're already incentivizing people to, because if you are 4-0 and you kill the 20-point figure, 25-point figure every round, 6 rounds, you made 150 points. If the other guy wiped out the whole team all through the Swiss, he made 1,800 points. Period. What you're doing is you're averaging out your defense power, your survivability power, to give you some extra points and average you out every round. But at the end of the day, to me, the fundamental change is you need more points, because if someone wins for more points than you, this is Swiss. You're not going to have a chance to fight him head to head and then use your turtling techniques on him. So, it's whoever performed better around. That's the fundamental change. If you're going to add points for survivability or not to even it out, blah, 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 you're just great. You level in the playing field, but the fundamental change is you need more points, because you're not going to have your turtling chance at the finals.
Yep. All right, so we have some fan questions to go through, guys. We have a few. Pedro, did you pick them all out? I found some too.
Yep, sure. But if you want to start, I can fill in with whichever we miss.
All right, so I'm going to start the very tippy top here. Go from Thomas Chung. He has question. I heard Elseworlds will be 1 chase per brick. Do we have any info?
No.
I watched Heroclix this morning, and they didn't get one on there. So I'm guessing either they are very unlucky, it's not the case, or it's 1 per case. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Wizkids has been keeping up with the 1 chase per case incentive to kind of help.
No, that's not a guarantee. One chase per case, because even in the past, the last couple sets, we've seen 2 chases in a case. We've seen 1 per case, and we've seen none. So there is a mix in there where they're just producing bricks that do not have chases. But I stand on this thoroughly. 1 chase per brick, it would be a brick incentive, not a chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a case. Do they have a case incentive like they did with What If?
Yes.
Yes.
As
the
a
skyscraper
It's the Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, what you really get per brick is you're guaranteed 4 super rares, but one of the super rares could be a chase, kind of thing.
I've seen as low as 2 now. People have complained a lot about only 2 super rares in a brick.
Never
now
seen
that
it.
concerns
No,
me.
For the case I got of What If, 2 cases, 12 super rares, and 2 chases. For 2 cases. So it was very, very constant. 6 super rares in a chase, 6 super rares in a chase. But like Mike said, I've also heard of two chases and no chases. So I don't know if they have a perfect sorting. I would guess that in average, there's a big chance to get 1 chase per case and a roughly 4 to 6 super rare. But then it should, I'm hoping that they do massive like that and then some odds and ends, but it's anyone's game.
All right.
I just want some God packs of nothing but chases.
Yeah. Or you can get at least one ultra chase per case when you buy from the same store, like the Deadpool fiasco.
In Texas.
In Texas, yeah, it must come down here.
So second one is, did the stream die? No, I'm that boring, but the stream still lives.
Yeah, I guess he had a hiccup in his stream. That's okay. I did see a funny thing that Thomas said as well. He was like, Jesse McCree is going to sue WizKids for stealing his catchphrase.
Oh man.
That was
Maybe
good.
that'll open talks between Blizzards and Heroclix.
Ooh, them Overwatch clicks though. I'm excited.
That'd be cool.
Imagine.
So Thomas has another question. I'm not sure of all these off the top of my head. Maybe you guys can chip in here a little bit. Thomas asks again, what are the buyable configs at Gen Con? My friend is going, and I want to let him know what to buy for me. I have to try to remember. I know for sure you can buy the Pim Tank is 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Hulk is 2.
Yeah.
Are they still selling the Earth Cap, Spider Gwen, and Pizza Face, or are they too?
Yep.
No.
Those
real?
ones.
They'll still be there.
Bebop, Rocksteady,
Yeah.
They should be
Sinestro,
Sinestro viable.
Spider Carnage.
No,
Cyber
no.
Shredder?
Spider
No.
Carnage is only when
He's a winnable.
Okay, Zeus is only winnable as well.
this is only winnable.
Plastic Man.
He is
Viable,
winnable?
I believe. No, I think it's
Is he
viable.
viable?
Yeah, and Doomsday. Doomsday was only in Canada, right? I don't know if Doomsday is
He might be down at Gen Con, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's make this real simple for everybody and get a shameless promotion in for CoolStuffInc.com. They're currently advertising that they're selling the convention exclusives through their site, and there's a little advertisement that they have. And I would assume that everyone they're selling are the ones that you can buy at the conventions.
Yeah, fair.
And well, I was gonna say, obviously, it's the ring, the boxing ring, will be for sale.
Oh yeah, the Muhammad Ali
That's number
Superman.
one.
Yep. So yeah, those are the ones. Hopefully that helps you out, Thomas. Sorry, having to memorize all those con pieces is a headache. Let's see here. Big Bub asked a question.
Bub.
He said,
They are selling Zeus though, so take it with a grain of salt.
how soon do you guys think we will see the new rules applied to the game? Brandon, answer this one for us. You know some stuff.
We're looking right here at like the end of July, so right as Thor's coming out.
So round, that could be really soon, guys.
I would assume as
I'm
soon
really
as we
hoping
have
for an electronic
rulebook
version.
and PAC. Yeah.
We'll get them.
Yeah.
I was hoping for an electronic version before. I heard it would be guaranteed to be printed for Thor, but I was hoping to see it sooner online.
Right, just a PDF for us.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
Believe me, I had my friend talking about pulse wave questions the other day. He's like, I'm tired of these pulse wave questions, all this crap. A couple months is just going to be printed values, no more questions.
Assume tiles are blank. Just use the numbers.
I literally have like my friend's literally the one that does all the win rulings. Like he's the one that does all those win rulings, and he gets tired of it too. So you know. But yeah, it's kind of fun. I was telling Magneto about some because he was the head judge at Origins, and he was telling a story about a guy who was arguing about a win ruling. He's like, the win ruled it this way. He's like, no, I guarantee you it didn't do that. No, I guarantee. I was like, I write those win rulings. I did never ever put that on there. He's like, look it up. Go ahead and look it up.
Let's see. I saw a comment from Games Roy I liked. Remember Matt? He's an awesome guy, a friend of ours. He says,
Miss that guy.
He said Flash should have pick a speed power. I like that.
You know, I was talking with Erks about this the other day that we should get a shifting focus Flash. So you'd have one that had hypersonic, one that had charge, one that had flurry, one that had phase teleport, one that had sidestep, so that you could, shift them out. You'd have different complementary powers. You'd have outwit and perplex and the different things that you would see in a Flash. And I think he would be the next good slate for a shifting focus character that they could very easily make him shiftable to whatever speed power you needed at the time.
And imagine, like 30, 40 points, 4 clicks or less, whatever, of just those speed powers, good values, and some support powers. That would
maybe
be
some defense,
really
ESD, combat reflexes, super senses, depending on what, defensive situation you had.
Yep.
Oh, I need a new set of shifting focus Spider-Mans in my life with all the different spider outfits.
Right.
Erks would approve.
I would be down. I'd have them all. Matt also said Mike Nito for Wizkids President 2020, so that could be a thing in the future.
There you go.
Send in that resume.
I could borrow the ramp.
It'll be the Mike Nito State of the Heroclix address.
Oh man.
We'll make sure we get the Mike Nito was right posters up with that, the hope, the blue and the red. color scheme, we'll get those up there.
I think that's all our questions. Did you see any more? I didn't see. Pedro.
There's a couple on what would we see special in Secret Wars, and I think it's all already answered in the test. Yes, more black suit Spidey, because there's never enough black suit Spidey.
All the cool.
Never enough.
Yeah, there's never enough dusk out
Like,
there.
I'm pretty sure there was a thing in Secret Wars where wasn't it Captain America riding Devil Dinosaur? Like, they were a team somehow, some way. That would just be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
So
that would be pretty cool.
And then ID cards valid. ID cards valid are all the convention ones plus Nick Fury onwards, if I recall correctly. So
yeah,
DC has an advantage on that one.
Well, yeah.
I was actually counting, and Marvel was killing DC and DC cards because they had so many more sets plus the cons. Now that you go all DC cards plus the con DCs versus the ones we have from Nick Fury and cons, there are just, I think, 7 more DC than Marvel. So it's pretty close right now.
Oh,
but the good thing is that Spider-Man card just got better and better. So I'm sure Eric has no fight about it, no grudge about it.
Nope, I'm good. I'm so happy. Well, guys, this is all of our questions. We had a ton of viewers. I want to thank each and every one of you for checking this video out live, checking out afterward when it's on YouTube. Hopefully these points and views helped you see what's going on in the game of Heroclix as far as like how cool What If was, how awesome Elseworlds is going to be, in the future of the scoring system. We all want to see cool stuff. We're excited for the change. We want new rules. We want this game to thrive and prosper and bring in new players each and every day. And I really hope with New Guy Night, Sidekick Night, after the new rules come out and Thor comes out. 'Cause I think Thor is one of those characters that a lot of people like a lot. I think he'll bring in some new players and try those new rules and say, this game is super awesome. So we're going to wind it down. Thank you guys all for watching. We will see you guys on the next Cere-Bros in 2 weeks. We love you guys. And remember, always remember,
strike first.
Strike hard.
Good night, guys.